In just 10 years, Healthy Schools has successfully established itself as the most widely embraced non-statutory government initiative in English schools. During this time, the programme has helped create a groundswell of support for the health and wellbeing agenda in schools. Today, more than 75% of children and young people are attending a healthy school, which lays a strong foundation as we move forward towards the new Healthy Schools enhancement model, the next crucial stepping stone for the future.
I like healthy schools. I always like healthy schools because I like being healthy a lot. So what we always need to do is have healthy schools. We all need to eat healthy things. We all need to run around to get lots of exercise to be healthy. And the behaviour has to be really good.
I just thought it's another programme and it's centrally run from government, and we continue to do our thing in Kirklees. It may or may not affect us, but probably won't. And that I was completely unaware of how important it's going to be.
Oh, this is another burden that you're putting on schools. And so we had to combat that by showing schools that actually we weren't putting a huge number of burdens on them, but what we were trying to do was almost to create an ethos within schools.
One of the great things about the programme was working within a team that had such energy and commitment and creativity.
Virtually 99% of schools are now involved in the programme, and that's come from perseverance and a huge amount of hard work.
We had a very can-do attitude, and it was about securing this programme at a strategic level and aligning it with current policy.
The wellbeing agenda, health and wellbeing, was seen as being in conflict with the academic agenda, rather than the two supporting each other.
It all sounds very reasonable now, but it wasn't necessarily that easy a concept to get over at the beginning or for schools to accept, which is why many of the early materials that were designed for the Healthy Schools programme were designed very much in curriculum fashion.
Yeah, I think that's what enabled people to buy into it, because when they saw it, they could see, oh, actually I recognise some of that. It resonates with what we're doing already. Not all of it necessarily, but certainly enough to make people think they could buy into it and it would have something for them.
Most schools would recognise that health and wellbeing is something they've always done. It's not necessarily something new, but actually, codifying that and putting it into an accreditation system where you actually recognise what schools are doing and celebrating that success with them, I think has been one of the key successes of the Healthy School programme thus far.
And we mustn't forget the important contribution of the regional coordinators. When we introduced that regional infrastructure, that really made a difference.
In the history of the Healthy Schools journey, bringing the programme in and getting ownership from both the Education Department and the Health Department was really a vital point. As the programme then received better funding and a higher degree of scrutiny and ownership by both government departments, so we were able to strengthen it and make it much more, even more a programme that heads and their staff and children and the parents in the school community would want to adopt.
Intrinsic investment through Healthy Schools programmes was in staff professional development. And we haven't talked about the work with parents as well, because again that was a really big part of local Healthy Schools programmes and has acted, I think, as a model for a lot of the work with parents through other programmes now.
But this thing about behaviour is going really well, because as it's going really well, it's getting better as it goes as we get older.
I used to spend half of my time after break times and lunch times sorting out arguments, sorting out issues that had arisen during those free times. And now, not only does that not happen, so they're not coming in carrying in an argument that's happened during a break time, but they're actually coming in really positive. They've had a really, really great break time or a really, really great lunchtime, and they're coming in and they're really willing to learn.
Health is inseparable from learning and achievement, and head teachers and schools recognise that too, which is why there's been such an enthusiastic take-up of the Healthy Schools programme. And we need to remember that it's not a statutory programme at the moment, and yet we've had absolutely fantastic buy-in from so many schools who are doing far more than we set out on the tin, as it were, in the instruction manual. And this is why the NatSen evaluation is beginning to show some real impact on the lives of children and young people in healthy schools.
I think the biggest impact that we noticed first of all was on classroom behaviour and levels of concentration and attentiveness. It takes time for those things to come through in terms of results, but they have come through now.
We've found that the impact has been increased motivation, self-esteem, confidence, increased participation in the activities that we are providing. They've also been open not just to the pupils, but we've invited the parents and friends of the students, as well as opening it up to the community, and we've had a massive response. And what we've done is we've seen an increase in attendance in some of the activities where we have had our community involved.
The notion that a healthy school is a better school, is one that is firmly embedded in the thinking of the 21st Century White Paper, in the Child Health Strategy, personal social health education being made statutory from 2011. School food, still a huge issue. I mean, all these things are contributing now to a sense that the school's role in health is really important. And for me, Healthy Schools is being seen as the key delivery vehicle for making that work.
Packed lunches have improved. We've gone from a situation 3 years ago where some older children were having 3 packets of crisps and a chocolate bar. You don't see that now. But I think we can do more. And I think the children have got the message. We need to do more work with parents.
And that's just made me start to think about my own life and what I do. So now I actually go to the gym at least 3 times a week, and I drink at least 1.5 litres of water every day. And I always eat 5 a day of my fruit and vegetables, and I know that other staff do exactly the same. It has really affected me, and truthfully, I've never felt better in my life.
I really hope that Healthy Schools and the programme really contributes to educating and informing the next generation of adults, because that's what we've been doing, that's what we're going to continue to do. Everyone who leaves school, has a basic level of health understanding, whether that's sex education or healthy eating or, physical activity. It's embedding all those kind of good virtues, I suppose, to do with health in every child who leaves school. So when they go out into the big wide world, they can make those choices, can make those healthier choices. And, as a nation, we can look to the future with confidence.